Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Samia.
And I'm Melody.
And first and foremost, we want to wish you all a very happy Halloween. We have a very spine-chilling and ghastly show for y'all tonight, including a discussion of some of our favorite campy horror films and overrated Halloween costumes.
We've also got a look into the lineup of this year's Austin Film Festival, which includes films like Darren Aronofsky's The Whale and Rian Johnson's Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
Don't forget that we also got a couple of reviews tonight for Amazon Prime's hit Middle-earth show, The Rings of Power, and the brand new entry of the DC Extended Universe Black Adam.
That's going to be an interesting review for sure, because I'm hearing it's in the form of a boxing match.
That's right, Melody, so stay tuned everyone. You are not going to want to miss this. Before we begin tonight's spooky show, we would be remiss to not mention the passing of actor Leslie Jordan.
Jordan was an actor, writer, and singer best known for his roles in Will and Grace, Hearts of Fire, and American Horror Story. He passed away yesterday at the young age of 67.
To everyone watching American Horror Story for this Halloween season, look out for Leslie in 1984, Roanoke, and Coven. He will be very missed.
In other recent news, many new trailers for upcoming projects have just been released.
Yes, the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania came out yesterday with an official release date of February 17th, 2023.
Also, the hit show Succession just released a trailer for its fourth installment on Sunday.
And most importantly, the first trailer of Netflix's Teletubbies came out last week, with the series going straight to streaming November 14th.
While Teletubbies coming out so soon is great news, I have to say I'm the most excited for Ant-Man. Not only is Paul Rudd a national treasure, but I have a feeling that this film is going to be very important moving forward in the MCU.
I agree, but I think Teletubbies will be very important moving forward with the world. Teletubbies is bringing in 4 new voice actors for the Tubbies, including Titus Burgess from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. While this revival is the newest since Nick Jr. in 2014, that doesn't mean the Tubbies or the Tubbies PR team have been quiet. The Tubby Twitter has been consistently active and relevant, standing every pop star they can. Additionally, the inclusion of a gay Tubby in Tinky Winky is so great to see. I'm really excited to see how the new rendition of the classic show will play out.
Gosh, Samia, I didn't know you were such a big Teletubbies fan.
Well, I'm a much bigger fan of Teletubbies than I am of Riverdale, which also started shooting their final season this past week.
Oh boy. Before we jump into everything great and horrid about Riverdale, let's throw it to Timo for a review of a different infamous show.
Here's Timo with a review of The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Take it away.
Ellen Sila Lumen, Omentilavo Sneak Peekers, Nanya Timo Nelson, Maestelquet Eldarin, Fo? Nai, I will speak the common tongue, for you. As you may have seen on delivery trucks and shipping packages everywhere, Amazon's $1 billion show, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, has finished airing its first of 5 seasons on Prime Video. So here I am, a humble messenger of the Valar, to give you my thoughts on what appears to be the next of many entries in the Tolkien Legendarium. Showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay have a lot of heavy lifting to do to fit the unwieldy lore of the Second Age into a modern TV narrative. For fans of The Lord of the Rings, like myself, it's great to dive back into the world of Middle-earth, but in a new time period and a broader setting than in the films. For new viewers, however, they might have a different experience watching this show. A name drop such as Isildur, or a phrase, the people of Numenor, or the Dark Lord Sauron, will have new viewers lost, or at least not understanding the significance of those names. Nevertheless, I believe the show is still enjoyable for the new viewer. It's a classic good versus evil scenario which leads to a very entertaining conflict. As I said, the show takes place in the Second Age, many thousands of years before the events of Peter Jackson's movies. It covers the rise of evil, Sauron, in Middle-earth, as seen through the eyes of a varied cast of new and old characters. The elves are represented by Elrond and Galadriel, whom you might remember from the trilogy. While both characters have been recast to reflect their younger selves, I think Morfydd Clark not only looks but also feels like a younger and angrier and even more brash version of Galadriel. She has a lot of room to grow into the wise and powerful sorcerer that Frodo and the Fellowship meet 3,000 years from now. You see, elves in the Tolkienverse live forever unless killed in battle. But that doesn't mean everyone else is quite as old. We're introduced to Prince Durin, a dwarf whose friendship with Elrond is tested by the elf's longevity. And of course, any story set in Middle-earth wouldn't be complete without some short, hairy-footed, and good-natured Harfoots. These nomadic ancestors of the hobbits are quite lovable, if a little on the cheesy side, and provide some levity to the otherwise dark narrative. We're taking to many fantastical locations throughout the season, from the island kingdom of Numenor to the dwarven stronghold of Khazad-dûm to the Southlands, a human-inhabited area infested with orcs that sets the stage for the best action sequences of the season. We get not only a classic army v army skirmish, but a pretty ingenious castle defense sequence and a prison break scene with some truly awesome chain choreography. These fights are not only well designed, but also shot and edited. I can clearly tell what's going on the whole time, and it just makes it so much more intense. I don't think the show is perfect, however. With such a large cast and so many places to visit, some episodes left out certain storylines entirely, which has the effect of making some characters' development and progression feel uneven. The main plot has twists and turns that are predictable, and some characters' paths and outcomes never connect, creating this kind of unattached feeling. Like the books, the show was slow and at times spent plenty of time on side stories. One way to describe it would be a roller coaster that crawls up and up and up and then finally drops only in the 6th episode. Perhaps with a few more episodes akin to House of the Dragon, those issues might have had time to sort themselves out. But that isn't to say I didn't have a good time getting to know these new faces before Mount Doom had its say. It's clear that Amazon spent a dragon's hoard of money on this show. Each episode cost around $60 million, and you can tell. I found myself in total awe at the truly spectacular CGI shots, both in CGI and in live action. If the Rings of Power doesn't win any awards for VFX, it would be a robbery. Just like when Morgoth stole the Cimmerals from Fëanor, right? Right? Okay. Even the color grading is far more vibrant than previous entries to the world, and I welcome that change. So, as the first season of 5, which Amazon is very committed to completing, I'm hopeful that we'll have another Lord of the Rings epic on our hands. There was quite a lot of setup in Season 1, but I believe it's going to be worth it. If you're new to Middle-earth and can't wait for more Rings of Power, though, you've got 6 movies waiting for you. Both the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogies will make you appreciate the show a ton more. I think I'll be giving them a rewatch in the meantime as well. Let us know what you think about the Rings of Power at Sneak Peek TV. As we say in Rivendell, Namadi.
Now, let's see what Anna Kay and Aaron have to say about The Whale, Glass Onion, and the rest of the films premiering at the AFF.
Take it away, y'all.
Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Anna Kay.
And I'm Erin.
I think I can safely speak for everyone at Sneak Peek when I say we are super excited for Austin Film Festival this year.
I know. I can't wait to see all the big names that will be in attendance.
But Erin, that's so mainstream. I mean, I think everyone should prioritize AFF's great selection of Indian and Texas-based films.
How could you say that when writer Samuel D. Hunter and director Aaron Ronsky are literally walking the red carpet for A24's The Whale on AFF's opening night? The film follows an obese English teacher as he attempts to reconnect with his estranged daughter, and it is supposed to be Brendan Fraser's epic return to the big screen, co-starring Sadie Sink. I'm super excited to catch it all at the festival.
While I'm also very excited for The Whale, I'm equally hyped for AFF's documentary selections this year, a lot of which focus on local Texas stories and eccentric subjects. Song of the Cicada from writer-directors Aaron and Robert Weiss follows a Galveston mortician grappling with his legacy. The Other Fellows follows 4 generations of Austinites, all named James Bond. And the documentary short Con su pluma en su mano, The Ballad of Gustavo Arellano, tells the story of one of the most important Latino voices in journalism.
Those all sound really interesting. The doc selections do remind me of another A24 film appearing at the festival, though. Inspired by the lived experiences of writer-director Elegance Bratton, The Inspection follows a young black gay man who joins the Marines after being kicked out by his mother. Bratton will be hosting a panel on autobiographical script writing, and he will also be hosting a conversation with cast member Raul Castillo to discuss their experiences while filming. I have a feeling that it's going to be a really impactful watch, and I'm so glad AFF included this extra programming.
It does seem like they're hosting some really interesting events outside of the singular red carpet screenings. I heard that the UFC is hosting an entire press rotation at the festival to accompany the world premiere of Thug Rose, mixed martial artist. Directed by Marius Markavicius, the film follows Rose Namajunas' career as an MMA fighter, advocate for mental wellness, avid environmentalist, and concert-level pianist.
That sounds super inspiring. I think another potentially uplifting watch will be Sam and Kate, written and directed by Darren Leigh Gallo. With its world premiere at the Austin Film Festival, Sam and Kate has a truly star-studded cast, including Dustin and Jake Hoffman, Skylar Fisk, Sissy Spacek, and Henry Thomas. Packed with emotion, the film follows a multi-generational story of a family coming back together.
You and your star-studded cast. For all of you sneak peekers looking for something a little bit more off the beaten path, keep an eye out for Little Jar, another AFF world premiere. This pandemic comedy stars Kelsey Gunn as Ainsley, a recluse who befriends the only thing left in her house after COVID hits, a dead mouse.
Anna Kay, that's weird. I can't believe we've gone through this whole review without mentioning the grand finale of this year's festival lineup, Rian Johnson's Glass Onion. I'm so excited to see the Knives Out sequel starring Ethan Hawke, Janelle Monáe, Kathryn Hahn, Kate Hudson, Dave Bautista, and so many other talented performers. Set on the private Greek island, Detective Bernard Blanc is back on the case when a friendly getaway turns murderous. If it is anything like the original Rian Johnson whodunit, Glass Onion is going to definitely be an AFF highlight.
I guess that just goes to show how many great films are going to be screened this year.
From local indie docs to Hollywood blockbusters, the Austin Film Festival really does have it all.
So make sure to grab any remaining general admission tickets and keep an eye out for our AFF red carpet interviews and other festival coverage at Sneak Peek TV.
Now back to the host.
Thanks, guys.
I am so thrilled to check out all of the films at this year's festival and to see who we'll get a chance to interview with this semester.
We've got some really great ones lined up, so be on the lookout, everyone.
Now, Samia, Halloween is coming up very soon, and you have obviously got a great costume already.
As do you, Melody. I would say you and I have some pretty rare and interesting costumes, unlike the ones we'll most likely see all over the city throughout Halloween weekend.
You're absolutely right. I just know I'm going to see so many Jokers and Harley Quinns from 2016's Suicide Squad.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Nolan's here with us to talk about some of the most overused Halloween costumes that we might see this year.
Take it away, Nolan.
Good afternoon, Sneak Peekers. My name is Nolan Wally, and I have some alarming news for you. There are only 6 days left between you and Halloween, and this will be another year where we're going to have to go through the doppelganger effect. That's right, overused costumes. I predict that this year is going to be one of the worst years for overused costumes, even as bad as 2016 when we had to deal with all those clowns. While it won't be as bad as other years where it's only one costume being used, I predict that we're going to have about 10 costumes that are going to be overdone this year, uniquely giving me the opportunity to go through a top 10 list of them. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be listing the top 10 worst overused costumes, with 10 being acceptable and 1 being absolutely unacceptable. So without further ado, here is my list of the top 10 most overused costumes of 2022. Coming in at number 10, we have the Scooby-Doo gang. This one is really unoffensive, it's pretty standard, and it's a classic. In fact, it's probably the most classic overused costume of all time. But there is one thing. Whoever is Scooby-Doo has to sell it. You have to have the most immaculate rut-row that this world has ever seen, or you shouldn't be putting on the collar. Sorry, I don't make the rules. At number 9, we have Mike Myers from the Halloween franchise. While this is used every year, we're definitely going to see a spike in it this year with Halloween Ends having released this October. This costume, like Scooby-Doo, isn't that bad, especially since when you're in the costume, you're pretty much silent so you don't have to talk to me. One thing though is, people are going to be coming up to you and saying that Halloween Ends sucks, and that's going to be annoying to deal with unless you commit to the bit and actually stab them. Our first couple's costume comes in at number 8 with Batman and Catwoman from The Batman. This one also, I'm not going to talk about too much because I know that you people who got the Batman suit spent a lot of money on it, and because I'm dressed like this. But there are 2 problems with this. One, a lot of the people who are dressing up as Batman aren't going to go full out and put on the eyeshadow, and if you're going to go for it, you should probably go all the way. And then second of all, it seems like you're taunting me with having a Catwoman because I don't have one. That's all I have to say. This one isn't a classic yet, but it's on the verge of being one. Filling in at number 7, we have Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. I get it, guys. I like that movie too. But if we see an entire crowd of Patrick Batemans trying to out-accent each other and give each other business cards, I'm going to lose my mind. Here's a little tidbit for you. If you don't have a lock of hair as beautiful as Christian Bale's, don't do it. Number 6 isn't one specific costume, but it's just an overarching costume idea that's going to be coming from a show, Euphoria. This one has the big thing with this one is that you're going to have people asking who you are. It's not going to be incredibly obvious. And nobody's going to be giving you alcohol if you're wearing this. And then also, let's be real, guys, it's going to be pretty cold on Halloween. That's all I'm going to bring up. This one might be the most popular this year. At number 5, we have Anything Breaking Bad. If you're going as a Breaking Bad costume, I want to say something and I want you to take it to heart. You are not as funny as you think you are. I know you're going to be saying all those kid name finger jokes, you're going to be making your best Gus Fring impressions, but you're going to look stupid. We can see your bald cap. Our last couple's costume comes in with Jack and Alice from Don't Worry Darling at number 4. Like Euphoria, people are just going to be asking you what you are, and once you tell them, they're probably just going to say, oh, you have bad taste. We are now down to the top 3 overused costumes of 2022, and coming in 3rd place is Homelander from The Boys. It's a good show, but anybody who's willing to wear that costume has some serious issues going on, and we should stay away from them. 2nd place goes to Eddie Munson from Stranger Things. Public service announcement. Basic human etiquette doesn't go out the window once you put on a denim jacket. If you go out there doing the whole Chrissy wake up thing and just I'm going to call you a nerd. And finally, the number 1 worst, most appalling overused costume that you could do this year is Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't think I need to go into this at all, but if you're thinking, it's not that bad, here's something you can do. Pull out your phone, call 911, and report yourself to the police. And that includes the top 10 lists of the most overused costumes of 2022. If you see any of these out in the wild, make sure to keep a tally and send us how many you saw at Sneak Peek TV on either Twitter or Instagram.
Hey Sneak Peekers, I'm Brandon Garcia, and with me here tonight are
Sofia Trevino,
Dalton.
And for this upcoming Halloween, we have decided to give you our recommendations for the campiest horror movies. So we'll go ahead and get started with my recommendation for a campy horror movie, which would definitely be The Happening, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I just love, Mark Wahlberg's performance in it.
Some great line readings.
Yeah, it's truly something unlike anything he's done in his career.
Yeah.
And I just love that the bad guy is trees.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but it sounds camp. I can go next. The one I have is Spree. It has Joe Keery, and he basically just drives a rideshare app and kills the people he drives around. It's really bad, so that's why I call it camp.
That's camp, yeah. One of my recommendations would be Friday the 13th Part 6. Don't quote me on the number. Those are kind of shaky, but it's Jason Lives. It starts, the opening scene is somebody stabs his rotting corpse with a metal bar, and lightning strikes the bar and revives him like Frankenstein. It's like a Universal monster movie, very camp.
No, definitely many of the Friday the 13th movies would qualify. For my next camp movie recommendation, I would have to say Cruising, starring Al Pacino, just for the scene where he's dancing in a gay leather club. It's some truly inspired dancing.
Yeah.
Actually, it reminds me of that one dance scene in Friday the 13th Part 4. There's just one character in there who just...
I've seen it. I don't remember this dancing with leather that
yeah.
you talked about.
Oh, no. It's not on a leather bar, but...
The same dance moves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some parallels.
Mm-hmm.
My next one is Ma, because I just feel like Sue-Ann is camp because she just wants to be loved, and nobody's picking up her calls.
Yeah.
And I feel like she just goes crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the part where she's sewing that girl's lips was really scary to me.
But it was also camp.
Yeah, bad camp.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my recommendations is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Lots of subtext there. Very camp. Some amazing practical effects. If you're in the right state of mind, it's a good time. 100%.
Yeah, truly another movie with a leather bar in there. I'm seeing a theme.
Oh, there is, isn't there?
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my last camp recommendation would definitely be House, sometimes spelled as Hausu. But it's a very fun movie, some very insane set pieces. All the characters' names are just like their personality trait.
Yeah.
Like you've got fantasy, you've got hungry. But yeah, I think those will be our campy horror movie recommendations from us. And speaking of camp movies, Black Adam has recently come out in theaters. Two of our sneak peekers have some very strong opinions on this movie. So now to Ryan and Nick to find out their differences.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Nick. Tonight, I'm Indiana Jones for this Halloween special. And I'm here with Ryan, and we're here to review the newest entry to the DC Universe, Black Adam. Man, what can I say about Black Adam? It's the latest entry in the DC Universe starring Dwayne Johnson. He is the champion of Kahndaq, born from rage, freed to liberate the city from the criminal gang Intergang. And honestly, I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. But we've got someone here who doesn't.
I'm sorry, back up. Hi, I'm Alice from Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Heroes don't kill people, but I do. And unfortunately tonight, I will be destroying Nick and Black Adam because this movie is atrocious. Don't get me wrong, it is such a fun time in the theater, but not purposefully so. And I think, just not very good.
No, I think it is purposely
Okay.
so. I think Dwayne knew exactly what he was doing. You see what he's tweeting, you see what he's saying in the interviews. He did this for the fans, especially a little surprise at the very end of the movie. He knows what the fans want. And
I don't think they want a bad movie, though. I would argue that the fans deserve something better than this. I mean, we're
true.
taking
It's
a character
true.
like Black Adam who has some history, and really, we're just using him as a rock starring vehicle. There's nothing particularly special about this movie, but I don't know.
I disagree. I think the most special thing about this movie is that this is actually Dwayne's best performance.
Yeah.
I really think it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I disagree.
I
don't think
his
he's had a
stoicness-
single good performance.
I think Dwayne's stoicness is perfect for Black Adam.
Yeah.
And the only fault that this movie really has is the JSA.
I would agree with you on that. The Justice Society of America is horribly misused.
I agree with
the
that,
villain
actually.
in this movie is one of the worst villains we've ever seen in a superhero movie,
I
and
agree
that's
with that, too.
saying something. Yeah, you agree with it.
I would agree
Sounds
with
like this movie sucks, Nick.
No, this movie was really good. It's campy.
It's really
Dwayne
good, but
knew
man,
that
this
it
part
was,
sucks, and
he
this
knew
part
that it was
sucks, and
funny.
damn, this part
he
sucks.
knows himself. He knows who he is. He's
Yeah.
The Rock. And he knows
Yeah,
that
he's The Rock. He's not Black Adam.
Nah,
he's The Rock.
still The Rock.
This is another Rock. Back up! Oh, shoot! All right. Black Adam sucks!
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does! That's all from us. Don't see Black Adam.
Go see Black Adam.
Well,
the
see Black
hierarchy
Adam
of
if you wanna see
power
a
of the
bad
DC
movie.
Universe has just changed. And stay to the very end for a very special surprise.
Out. That's all from us. We'll see you next week.